I just want to say thank you, parents, for taking a couple of minutes to listen to this short introduction on the flipped classroom. I think it has such powerful potential, and I'm really looking forward to an opportunity to approaching your child's teaching from this fashion. I say it's a taste of something a little out of the ordinary. What we're going to do is we're going to flip both our pre-APs, this is for pre-AP parents, and I only have one class of pre-AP, by the way, and our AP parents. And I'd like us to take a look at what we're actually flipping. So this is just a brief introduction. I can give more details as needed, but I wanted to make sure you got clear communication about what we'll be doing in the classroom and what's going to be required of our students outside the classroom. Here's the key of what is happening in the class. We are going to be taking, or I'm going to be taking, what I call the low bar ask. That's whenever there are times in the notes and in the content where direct instruction may well, in my opinion, be the best approach, definitely needed. So that direct instruction may be because the content is very difficult and abstract and may need some deeper explanation, or maybe it needs metaphors or analogies. Or more likely in chemistry, that's the point at which we're dealing with mathematical concepts that need to be modeled. And so that's the type of thing we would have direct instruction. There may be some content that won't necessarily be flipped, and that content might be more appropriate to do during an inquiry type activity in class. So it's really the direct instruction that I'm talking about. I consider this a low bar ask because it's pretty easy to do what you're doing and sit and listen and fill in the blanks and follow along. And it doesn't take that higher order thinking skill or those higher order thinking skills to do that. Well, then typically what we do then is we do this low bar ask with the teacher present, and then in some sense we kind of abandon them, not completely, but we abandon the students to the higher bar ask of applying what we've learned, either creating something or new application with new examples in a new context. And what we're going to do is flip that so that it seems to match a more appropriate place where the kids need some help. These are the pioneers and a couple of the websites if you're interested. I really like this quote that what we're after is for kiddos to identify the learning as their goal, not just going home at night and trying to complete as many assignments as possible. We want to really pull the learning out of this. There are some advantages. The class time is more differentiated, which means it's going to focus more on what students need and which students need this. So we end up spending less time on concepts that they readily grasp and more time on the application. Instead of doing 4 examples of something they get, they are going to watch just a couple of examples, and then in class they can tell me or we'll be led to an evaluation of what they need more of in terms of the teaching. This is really key. I have more time for struggling students, but not only that, struggling students will get help from other students who grasp the concepts a little more readily. Mini lectures are given to the kiddos when I find out that students don't, more than one student or 3 and 4 students don't understand a concept. Then it's time for either a mini lecture or time to pull the whole class together. And what I like is this lecture is not given when I perceive they understand it, but when they are at that point. The students are at the point where they're ready to grasp the concept. This is also going to free up a lot more time for student collaboration, which is a critical college prep activity. So those are some of the advantages. What the students will be doing is the direct teaching component will be at home. They'll be watching them in smaller time segments. They'll be able to match their ability to focus. They can rewind, rewatch, get up, move around, take it at their pace, not my pace. If a student is absent, maybe due to band or sport or UIL, that student gets to watch the lecture. The student's not missing that critical lecture component that really is an important part of the learning. They can watch the lecture at home, and then during tutoring, instead of redoing a lecture, the tutoring time will be focused on their needs of what they do or do not understand. Actually, last year had a parent, when I tested this, watch the videos so he could help his son study for the test. I don't have that expectation, but he found it quite handy. So what is the new work at home, the new homework? I don't want you to hear students say there's no homework. There will always be work at home. So the new homework is going to be watching videos, by and large, of assigned lecture. For AP, they may well also have to complete their homework, which they're now doing in class. So they have to complete, let's just call it application, that we're going to at least start in class. So that was formerly our homework. So it's a flip. And we'll do quite a bit of it in class, but they'll probably have to finish just a little bit more of that. Now, I'm going to go from standing up front. This is there for your kind of reference, but I'm going to be starting, instead of being up front, I'm going to be able to mentor kiddos. And there's been some great data on that and the impact for that. And I've included that in this PowerPoint. So if you want to pause it at this point, you can see some of the great success that they had at a school in Detroit. Focusing more on at-risk kids, some tremendous results in doing this type of a flip. They did a government econ, again with at-risk kiddos, and there's the results of that. I'll just let you pause that video if you're interested in that. This slide here shows a reduction in failure rates for their 9th grade, which especially in inner city Detroit was a critical concern for that school. And then the results of doing an 11th grade only math flip, which gave them a 9% improvement on their ACTs. Up north, they do ACTs typically rather than SATs. Now, my expected results are for pre-AP, I anticipate anywhere from a 5 to 10% improvement over what we've been doing in the past. For AP, most of them did the homework anyway, so I do hope for an increased percentage on test, an increased AP score, more at the 4 and 5 level. But I think the very critical thing that we're going to get in AP is more efficient learning. It would be quite common for them to go home to do the application and get stuck and have to call friends or wait into tutorials to get help or just keep banging their heads against the wall. Now, some of that frustration should be alleviated, and that time spent on it should be gone because I'm going to be there to help, because we'll do it in class with help. So they're not going to have to be hitting a wall and then trying to find friends. They'll have somebody right there, or they'll be able to call me over right away to get the help that they need for that homework. Now, it is possible that your child does not have access to internet or computer at home. And in that case, if it's just an internet issue, I can provide the lectures on a CD or flash drive. They can download them on their phone or maybe a friend's phone. They can do them in the library. That should really be my room. Okay. They can go to the Allen Library, their apartment complex. They can go to a friend's house. I have plenty of laptops available in my room. And they can. I'm here at 7:30, and I'm also going to be here after school. And they can actually listen at any time in my room as long as they have some headphones. So if they have an off period, even if I'm teaching, students can come into my room, go onto a computer in the back, and listen to a video using headphones. So I really think we can accommodate everybody. So if they choose not to watch the videos, they're going to have to watch them in class while others are getting the help they need on application. And here's key. This is really the last one that I want to say. I think it will be easier for you to feel like you're truly part of the team that helps support your child on his or her journey to learning chemistry. That's my goal, loving my students through their journey of learning chemistry. And you'll be a bigger part, or feel like you really have a better idea of what to do, because you'll be monitoring whether they're watching their videos and taking their notes, and I will be checking notes. And you won't have to worry about checking homework and trying to figure out what their homework is. And, certainly for chemistry, some of you may be able to help, but most won't be able to help with chemistry. It may have been a while since you had it, or you simply may not be science focused. So I really think we can build a stronger team in doing this method. If you have questions, I encourage you to email me, and I will do my best to address those questions. And then we also have Meet the Parent Night. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this little 10-minute video. It'll give you a taste of what your students will be doing on a regular basis in my class. Let me know what I can do to help.